So guys, thank you for joining me again in today's segment. Today's segment we're going to be covering all about toning. In my last one it was all about cleansing, and this one is all about toning, which is the second part to your skincare routine. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of information in terms of what toning is all about. Toning is basically really good for removing any further dirt that is left over from cleansing, because sometimes when you cleanse you can't get everything off. So toning comes into that factor, and it also helps with balancing your pH for your skin. That's what toning is good for. It just balances things out so that you're not too oily or, you know, not also too dry. It just balances things out. So that's what I like to think of toning as. Toning as well is good for really tightening up your pores. If you use obviously the right toner, it's going to help to shrink your pores, the size of them, because you know you're cleaning it out and doing that further step. So that's what toning really is essentially for. It's just further removing any dirt that's on the skin and purifying the skin and balancing things out. So yeah, now I'm going to actually show you guys what toner I use, how I tone. Again, you don't need to use loads of toning solution. You just need to use a little bit at a time, and you'll find that your products will last you for a longer time, which we are always trying to do to save some point. So yeah, I'm going to show you guys how I tone and what I use, all that good stuff. So guys, this is my toner that I use. Sometimes I use the Paula's Choice BHA toner. I tend to use that in the night time or the times where I'm having a breakout, because that one is more of a toner slash exfoliant, but this is what I use at the moment for everyday basis, and I've actually been really enjoying it and been loving it. It's the purifying toner, and this contains some essential oils. It's so gentle on the face, and it's just so perfect for combination skin. It's soothing, it's purifying, and also has some exfoliating elements to it. It contains salicylic acid, which is super perfect if you are somebody that tends to break out. So I use my toner. I tend to tone twice a day. Again, I always make sure that I tone twice a day. When I cleanse, I tone afterwards. I just can't do without doing any of the steps for me. So yeah, that's what you do. So what I tend to use for my toning, I know some people use their hands. Some people say that you use your hands directly with the toner, but I like to use a cotton pad because that's just how I've always been taught in terms of using toners. Obviously, depending on the toners, there's some toners where there's spritzers that you can spray over the face, whereas some you can, you know, use a cotton wool. So I think it's just up to people's preference and what you prefer. I just like to use cotton wool. So yeah, so what I just do is I just pat a little bit of the toner onto my cotton pad, just like that. I like to use two because I just think it's just easier for me to work around the face, my face portion. So what I just do is I start from the top. I just like to start from the top when doing things for skincare, and I don't like to go back upwards because I just think that you're just going to be spreading more bacteria. So I like to go down when toning, and then I just work my way around like that, and then I do my neck, because you always have to make sure whatever you do to the face, you do it to the neck. And then the last but not least thing that I like to do is to flip them over and use the other parts that I've obviously not used, and then I just like to go back at the back of my ears to make sure that those are clean as well, because honestly when you put makeup and, you know, moisturizers and stuff like that on your face, your ears just are so dirty. And trust me, I always just find loads of foundation and stuff like that at the back there. So I have always been taught that way to clean behind your ears, because it's just, you know, not as nasty if you do it that way. But yeah, that is basically how I tone. I think with toning, you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to be using the cotton pad like all around your face and taking it from, you know, the bottom back to the face, because you're just going to be spreading all those bacteria that you've used. If you do feel like you need to tone a bit more, I would suggest to use clean cotton pads and do it again that way, rather than using the old one back onto your face again, because it's just screaming bacteria and your pores are just like, you know, can't cope, they're just screaming at you. So I highly recommend that in terms of toning, but it's just like a simple step to do. What I tend to do after I've toned, I just allow 60 seconds or 30 to 60 seconds for the product to work its way into the pores without putting, you know, moisturizer and all of that afterwards. I just leave 30 to 60 minutes in between, just allow that to sink through to the pores, and yeah, move on to the next step. So I really hope you guys found this useful, and again, I will see you in my next one for the next segment.